What happens if you eat sardines for just 5 days? Sardines are one of the most nutritious foods on the planet. Each can cost less than $2. It's not even on the radar of many doctors, and the pharmaceutical mafia certainly doesn't talk about it because a clinical study was conducted in Barcelona that I want to share with you. They divided about 150 people into two groups. One of the groups added just 2 cans of sardines a week to their diet, while the other group did not. The group that added just 2 cans a week saw their risk of developing diabetes drop from 37% to 8%, and the head of the research team called this a major scientific discovery. My question was, what happens if you eat 3 cans of these sardines every day for 5 days in a row? In 1 can of sardines, you officially have 23 grams of protein, high quality protein, and 900 milligrams of EPA and DHA combined, both of which are omega-3 fatty acids. You also get 382 milligrams of calcium, 348% of your daily requirement of B12, vitamin D, selenium, phosphorus, and then taurine, which is very interesting, and as it happens, I'm going to address it. And of course, all these amounts are multiplied by 3 because you're eating 3 cans of it a day, and I want to focus specifically on this part. 900 milligrams of omega-3 fatty acids, EPA, and DHA. Do you know how much the average American consumes? Only about 100 milligrams of EPA and DHA per day. But multiply this by 3. We are talking about 2,700 milligrams of EPA and DHA, which takes its levels in your body to a completely new and therapeutic range, and the things it can treat are incredible. I'll get to that. I strongly suggest you buy sardines with skin, with bones, and an extra virgin olive oil. Well, on the first day of eating only sardines, of course, you have water and electrolytes, and if you want to drink tea or coffee, you can do that too. Just if you want to add a little cream, keep it very, very minimal. What happens in the body? 0 carbohydrates, 0 sugar. The body starts burning fat and switches from sugar burning to fat burning from day 1. Now, in this process, your body has to burn the stored sugars, which is called glycogen and is in your liver. So, within the first 24 hours, those sugars are cleared out. A large amount of water is also attached to this glycogen, so in the first step, you lose a lot of weight through water, and that's why I recommend electrolytes. Make sure it definitely contains potassium, magnesium, and sodium. Now, this is a completely different type of fasting compared to long-term fasting where you only drink water and consume electrolytes. You are adding an incredibly dense and nutritious protein meal. So for most people, this is much easier because they don't feel weak. In fact, they feel stronger and at the same time receive a large amount of nutrients. So you could essentially call this a sardine fast, and it is also quite similar to what we commonly know as a fasting mimicking diet. This is because that specific type of diet has been extensively studied and shown to provide a wide range of significant health benefits for the body. But we are doing the fasting mimicking diet with something that is much denser and more nutritious than what most people do when they are consuming low calories. Things that aren't even close to this level of nutrient density. In other words, we can simulate the benefits of fasting by consuming a low-calorie diet for 5 days. The first and second days might be a bit difficult for some people who haven't done this before because they have to enter a state called ketosis, which is of course a fuel your brain loves, but it takes a few days to enter. We achieve this by reducing carbohydrates and drastically lowering insulin. Then your body switches to burning its own fat. Many people never get to their own fat because they never lower carbohydrates and insulin enough to be able to use fat. So officially, these 5 days are pure fat burning and your body gets filled with incredibly therapeutic ketones. Ketones are essentially natural byproducts that are created when your body begins to break down fat for energy. Now, I'll be honest with you, the second day might be a bit tough for some people who have never done this before. But you will have a type of hunger called dopamine hunger, which is different, meaning you crave variety. For example, you crave chips, something spicier, or a snack with a different flavor, but you don't actually have physical hunger pains because your body has just learned to feed on its own fat, and throughout this whole process, you are consuming your own fat. Even when you're asleep, you're still feeding on it. Because when you don't lower your carbohydrates, sugar, and insulin, you are actually feeding on the glycogen stored in your liver. but we have already used that up, so we are officially feeding on pure fat. So if there's a choice, your brain wants ketones. You start feeding your brain with these ketones, and by the second day, you gain mental clarity. You start feeling a very, very high level of focus, and your attention span increases. Also, if you have any inflammation in your body, it starts to decrease. Because in these omega-3 fatty acids, there is something called resolvins that help turn off inflammation. But to be able to get enough of it, you have to take high doses. Well, you are officially taking 2,700 milligrams of EPA and DHA so you can turn off that inflammation. Most supplements, if you look at their DHA and EPA content, only have about 200 milligrams per day, but we are consuming 2,700 milligrams. So your inflammation starts to go down, you feel more flexible and better, and your sleep improves as well. Now, just as a side note regarding the mercury question, because many fish are discarded and not used due to mercury, I want to give you some important data about mercury in sardines. It is extremely low, about 0.013 parts per billion. If you compare this to tuna, it is 27 times lower. But also keep in mind that you are consuming selenium, which binds to mercury and neutralizes it. So you don't need to worry about the mercury issue in sardines. Day 3, this is where the story gets interesting. If you had brain fog, it will completely disappear. You wake up, you feel completely different in your head, you feel more focused because the ketones are fully activated and are fueling your neurons. So if you think about it, 3 days of getting 288% of your daily selenium means your thyroid gland is converting T4 to T3. So you feel like your metabolism is working much better, especially in terms of heat production. You don't feel cold at all. Even if it's cold outside, you go out and you don't have that intense feeling of cold because your thyroid is working much, much better. High amounts of omega-3 fatty acids stimulate brown fat. Let me explain brown fat more thoroughly. Brown fat is brown because it is highly concentrated in mitochondria, those little energy factories inside the cells. So when you stimulate this type of fat, you waste a large amount of energy through heat and generate heat. Well, this might not be highly efficient, but if you are trying to lose weight, it's a fantastic thing. Because for most people with a slow metabolism, their metabolism is slow because it's very efficient, meaning they can last a long time on a small amount of fuel and nothing goes to waste. But with what we are doing here, we are wasting a large amount of fuel in the form of heat. And this is just a different way that the mitochondria can deal with this energy. The other big issue is your appetite. You won't be hungry at all. Your appetite will completely disappear because your body is overflowing with ketones, because you are finally burning fat. So you are receiving fuel 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and ketones suppress something else called ghrelin, which is the hunger hormone. So it suppresses that and you don't have to worry about food cravings. Also, your digestion, you won't have any bloating at all. If you are used to bloating, that will be completely cleared up and your stomach will start to become flatter. Meaning if we compare this diet to taking Ozempic injections, it's much cheaper, more therapeutic, and without side effects. The 4th day is the day when this process goes beyond an internal experience and becomes something external and visible. Because when you look in the mirror, your face looks different, it looks better, your skin looks younger. You get a healthy glow because all those omega-3 fatty acids are entering all your cell membranes, including your skin cells, and not just your appearance, but your feeling and mood change as well. Your joints feel more flexible and loose because inflammation has gone down significantly. You have finally turned off that chronic inflammation that was stuck there. So we will officially have more fat burning in the belly, we will have less inflammation because we are in a fantastic therapeutic range, and your skin will get much better. Now, do you remember I talked about taurine? Taurine increases something called GABA. GABA is a calming neurotransmitter, which is what psychiatric medications do. So this helps with stress, you feel calm, you feel stable, you can handle stress, and you sleep better. Also, the cortisol hormone spike won't wake you up at 3 in the morning and you'll sleep deeply throughout the night. Also, keep in mind that your gut microbiome is benefiting as well. Fasting is much more therapeutic for these microbes than feeding them several times a day, which makes them lazy and prevents them from doing their job. When you go on a fast, your microbes actually function much better and you start to develop greater diversity in your gut microbiome. So your digestion improves and of course your brain improves too because they are connected. Now the big difference between a sardine fast and a water-only fast is that for some people who do long-term water fasting, if they are leaner, they might lose some muscle. But with this fast, you won't lose any muscle at all because you are technically consuming 69 grams of protein during the fast. Okay, day 5. On day 5, you probably won't want to stop at all. You'll want to continue it because of all those effects that have piled up. You have more weight loss, a happy brain, your mood is good, you're not hungry, you don't crave anything, your skin has become beautiful. You have officially consumed 5,000% of your required B12. You have created a massive change in your omega-3 to omega-6 ratio by consuming officially 13,000 milligrams of omega-3 fatty acids. So our thyroid works better, joints become more flexible, sleep becomes deeper and more awesome, so when you wake up you feel alert and refreshed. But above all of this, the real and big benefit is that you have taken control of your body. You have taken control of your health and you can stick with it. This is a huge win. It's like you're exercising your willpower, which is like a muscle, and every day you do it, it gets stronger and stronger. So by doing this, you are officially putting yourself back in the driver's seat and at the steering wheel of your health. The power to say no to junk food is extraordinary, and many people are controlled by their bodies, which causes these cravings and impulses to eat bad food. But after you do this, this issue quickly goes away. So now you have your body in alignment with your mind so you can truly succeed on this path. As I mentioned before, make sure to consume electrolytes every day. I also recommend B complex to you, especially vitamin B1, which is only stored for 4 days. And if you have a hidden deficiency, we don't want it to run out during this time. The same story applies to potassium and magnesium. Make sure to take your vitamins while doing this. Now, whenever you do a long-term fast, it's always important to ease out of your diet slowly. But you didn't necessarily do a water fast, you did a sardine fast. So you probably don't need to focus too much on easing out of it slowly. But I still suggest you do that and gradually start reintroducing foods into your diet. Thank you for staying with me until the end of the video. If you want to support me and help this video reach more people, make sure to hit the like button under the video, like it, and leave a comment as well. Watch these 2 videos as well for more information. Until the next video, goodbye.